is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
We are truly out in the middle of nowhere. We've been driving this road for what feels like hours, and we're driving through New Mexico. Bit of a snowstorm, as you can tell. This is crazy. I honestly had no idea that it snows in New Mexico. We've been on this road for what seems like hours. There is nothing around us. Right now we're heading to Fort Sumner, New Mexico to visit the final resting place. Well, one of the final resting places of legendary outlaw Billy the Kid. This is beautiful. There's cows over there. This is crazy. It's wild. Driving out of town, we come across this place called Dazed Movie Props. And I had to stop because it does have certain things inside the window here on Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid, the outlaw gang. But what caught my eye was this. It's a standee, or one of those cardboard stand-ups of Billy the Kid. And right down here, it's a reward poster, $5,000, dead or alive. A lot of the buildings here are vacant, but there is a lot of nice art, old Western art on the walls. Check out that mural on the side of the building. It's looking old, but it's still looking amazing. On the corner here, there's a place called Outlaw Meats, smoked to perfection, but what's really neat about it, check this out. It's like a little mini Western town. Looks like there's an outhouse and a couple different saloons that you can choose from if you want something to drink, as well as hot baths, laundry, and a barbershop. Everybody's just chilling on their porches. Right here on the side of the road, 1009 Sumner Avenue, is a picture of Billy the Kid. I don't think it really has any significance to that house right there, but it is the same address. I think it's just coincidence, somebody who's just really proud that they live where Billy the Kid is buried. Right now we're standing out front of the Billy the Kid Museum, and immediately we're struck in with this photo opportunity. There's Jessica right there as Billy the Kid. Are you eating the snow?
It's freshly fallen.
It is freshly fallen. Our plan today is to just pretty much roam around Fort Sumner. We really have nothing else to do. This is out in the middle of nowhere. Visit Billy the Kid's grave and just kind of take in the sights. This is like Old West history. Did you know that Billy the Kid's grave, this grave here at Fort Sumner, is the most visited outlaw Old West grave there is? Because it's Sunday and it is winter hours, sadly, the Billy the Kid Museum is closed, but there's the hours right there if you find yourself in the Fort Sumner area and want to visit. Jessica's back here somewhere. I saw her. Wait, is this a wagon? I thought you were in the wagon.
If I fits, I sits.
If you fits, you sits. Maybe we should be driving this instead of the Element. Facing the street on the front of the museum is this giant Billy the Kid Museum sign. But what's really neat is right down here, painted on the wall, like you're walking into an old saloon, are these murals. That's very cool. Check this one out over here. There's a plaque embedded in the wall talking about the Billy the Kid Museum, but there are more murals over here. Those guys are getting a drink from the bar. Are you down here by the jail, Jessica? Fort Sumner, New Mexico Territory, the jail. Again, well, this one here says $500 reward for Billy the Kid. 1859 to 1881. I think on the far end of the building, however, this photo opportunity has to be my favorite one. And would you look at that? They even have a gun on the side of the road for a shop called Shooter Gallery and Gifts. It seems like every sign that we see for Billy the Kid's grave tells us to go 3 miles. Then we find another sign and it says go 3 more miles. Another sign and then 3 more miles. Right here it says Fort Sumner Historic Site. The Bosque Redondo Memorial and Billy the Kid's grave, 3.5 miles down this road. I'm hoping that this is his final resting place. It's beautiful out here. I don't think I mentioned this before, but the road that we're on right now, this is actually called Billy the Kid Road. Can you imagine living on Billy the Kid Road and having your street name Billy the Kid? It is disgustingly peaceful out here. There is nobody here except for Jessica and I. Completely peaceful. And awesome. I don't think a lot of people realize this, but that famous photo that's right there on that Billy the Kid museum sign, it's the only authenticated photo of Billy the Kid. And it was taken here at Fort Sumner. There's no way you can deny how beautiful that is. The Fort Sumner Historic Site is a little further down that road. And about the center of your screen is the cemetery where Billy the Kid is buried. But there's this little plaque here that talks about Billy the Kid and what happened and why he's buried here. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But let's go ahead inside the cemetery. It is rather peaceful out here. I never thought that I'd be able to make this trip out to visit the grave of Billy the Kid, but here we go. It is a rather small cemetery, and right about the center of your screen down this path, behind a cage actually, is his grave. So peaceful. Look at that. That's wild. Everybody knows Billy the Kid as the legendary outlaw and the gunslinger, but not many people know the events surrounding his death. If you don't, then this should be rather interesting. You see, Billy the Kid was on trial for the murder of a sheriff. Now, keep in mind, he has murdered a bunch of people in the past and he survived a war, but towards the end of his life, he was on trial for the murder of a sheriff. And while he was getting his sentencing, the judge said to him, "Boy, you are going to hang until you're dead, dead, dead." And he kind of laughed and he chuckled and he said, "Go to hell, hell, hell," right back at him. That was that. Eventually, he escaped. He found his way back to Fort Sumner, which is where we are right now. And one evening, in the dark, he went to his friend's house. I think it was called the Maxwell Ranch. Went upstairs to the bedroom, completely dark, lights were off, and Pat Garrett was there. They both saw each other, they both pulled their guns, and Garrett shot first and supposedly killed William H. Bonney, Billy the Kid. They buried him not too far from where all that happened, next to 2 other outlaws, which is the 2 graves that you see in here. Technically you see 3 graves underneath this fence, underneath this cage. Rumor is that they were part of his gang. Nobody really knows for sure, but this is supposed to be where he's buried. Over time, floods, vandalism, nobody really knows if this exact spot is where Billy the Kid is in the ground. Old timers would point and go, well, I think he's over there. Well, maybe he's over there. They settled on this spot right here. That stone right there, it says pals. Tom, Charlie, and William H. Bonney, alias Billy the Kid, died July 18th. And there's 3 mounds representing 3 people. And it's covered with coins.
And bullets.
And bullets. Also down here in the corner is another stone. And I think this is probably the oldest one. One of the originals. Truth and History is covered with bullets. Billy the Kid, born November 23rd, died July 14th. They do believe he died July 14th. But this is it. Old West outlaw history. There's a sign off to the side of the grave of Billy the Kid. It says, Billy the Kid's elusive tombstone. Billy the Kid's tombstone was stolen in 1951. Its location was a mystery for 26 years until 1976 when it was recovered in Granbury, Texas by Joe Bolin. In fact, it was stolen quite a few different times, but that very first time, if I'm not mistaken, somebody found it, or they said they recognized it out in the middle of a field underneath a tractor. A little suspicious to me, but at least they got it back, and then it was stolen again. They put the cage up over top of it to prevent it from being stolen and from people chipping away and taking a piece of this outlaw history home with them. It's a good idea. I mean, we wouldn't do something like that. I mean, no, we wouldn't do something like that. And for those of you who may be wondering if there's anything written on the back of Billy the Kid's grave, there isn't. But he is looking over an open field. But over here behind that sign, there is a map that says Billy the Kid Points of Interest. Well, his grave is the only one that we're going to be visiting. Now here's the thing, some of you are watching this and going, oh no, Mr. Grimm, Billy the Kid is not buried there. He's buried in Hamilton, Texas, or somewhere else. He really didn't die here in Fort Sumner. In fact, he got away, that maybe even Sheriff Garrett played an intricate role in his escape instead of killing him. You may be right. His legend, the legend of outlaw Billy the Kid, is enormous. Nobody really knows, for sure. But this here, there's enough people who believed that Billy the Kid died here in Fort Sumner that they put this here. And it is the most visited Old West outlaw grave in the United States. It's funny, I first heard of the legend of Billy the Kid from a movie called Young Guns, where Emilio Estevez played Billy the Kid, and I thought he was so cool. I kind of wanted to grow up and be him. I mean, not going out and killing people and being a criminal like that, but I just thought he was a very cool character. And he's real. And right now, I'm standing at Billy the Kid's grave.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. A bad luck's always